Hello everybody, Cooper here and welcome back to another episode of my NBA 2K25 MyNBA Expansion Franchise. Today, we've got two games and we've got also a few bits and pieces that we want to have a look at. We've got the Philadelphia v Washington Wizards game on December 13th. We've also got, as we discussed in the last episode, this Boston-Atlanta NBA Cup game. Because last episode, very Western Conference centric. This episode, it'll be spending a bit more time in the East. But before we get into those games, there's a few things that I would like to address. The first thing that I would like to show off today is the NBA Cup standings. The groups, instead of having sort of 6 mini groups, it's now sort of East and West based. There's 18 teams in each of the groups. Obviously one for the West, one for the East. And as we can see, the San Antonio Spurs currently 9-0 in the group. My assumption is that they just play everybody once. So 17 NBA Group Cup games. And then there is sort of the elimination phase as we go further along. But apart from sort of the Spurs doing very well, it does line up very similarly as the initial NBA sort of schedule and sort of NBA standings, because we're so early in the season. About half the games that we've played, because I think we're about 20 games into the season, so we're about a quarter of the way through. About half of them have been NBA Cup games, so not a great deal of difference in terms of the West. But if you have a look out East, I know that Boston, they're around the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're down in the 7th seed. New Orleans hanging around the 11th seed. Memphis are actually doing a lot worse in the NBA Cup than they are outside of the NBA Cup, which is very interesting. And we also have two teams that haven't won a game yet in the NBA Cup in Chicago and Atlanta. So we are featuring Atlanta today up against the Boston Celtics. So hopefully for their sake, they can win an NBA Cup game today. Obviously, I don't care because, I'm impartial. I'm the NBA commissioner. But, I just want everybody to do well. The second thing that I want to show off is we've done a couple of trades. We've done them off camera. I've decided that it would actually be easier for me to do off camera, as these episodes have been getting pretty long lately. So just for a way to compress a bit of time, I did these trades off camera. But basically what the first trade looks like, it's a 3-team deal between the Washington Wizards, the Phoenix Suns, and the Detroit Pistons. The Wizards, they've got Toby Trapp, who's their number 4 overall pick last year. He's probably second in the Rookie of the Year race behind Junior Justice, who was a featured player in the last episode for the Spurs. TJ Warren from the Wizards, Cody Martin from the Wizards. They are both, well, not both. TJ Warren's going to the Suns, Cody Martin is going to the Pistons, and then Julius Randle from the Suns is going to the Wizards. So the Wizards trying to get a little bit better. They've got Marvin Bagley, who's currently their starting center, who is on an expiring contract. But they want to sort of get a bit of a stronger talent in Julius Randle playing the 5. He's a little undersized to play the 5, but just from sheer offensive power, I think this will put the Wizards in a good position. As sort of compensation, they're sending Detroit's 2025 lottery protected pick to the Suns. So Detroit are pretty good, as we know. They're, I think, the 4 seed in the East at the moment. Obviously, we're 20 games in. A lot can change. And they're also sending 2 second-round picks. So that draft pick, not a great deal of value there. But it has to be said that Julius Randle is also a free agent at season's end. So there's not really going to be a lot for him. Also part of this deal, Marcus Smart is going from the Suns to the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are sending Isaiah Stewart and Simone Fontecchio, as well as a 2029 unprotected first to Phoenix. So Phoenix just gathering up draft picks, as they spent a lot of the offseason doing, but this was the first trade that we put through. The second trade was also another 3-teamer, again featuring the Phoenix Suns, just collecting assets at this point. Malcolm Brogdon, again, another expiring contract, along with Justice Winslow, are both going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The San Antonio Spurs are also involved in this deal, and they are going to get Tyus Jones from the Minnesota Timberwolves. They tried to sign Tyus Jones in free agency. He opted to go to the Timberwolves instead, as they were able to give him a better deal. But the Timberwolves are accepting this deal. They are getting Malcolm Brogdon, who probably, depending on how you look at things, is a little bit better than Tyus Jones, obviously a little bit older, but we'll probably be able to re-sign him on a cheaper contract in the offseason. They also get Justice Winslow as they desperately need a bigger body, whereas Malachi Branham, who was traded from the Spurs to the Timberwolves in the offseason, is now going to the Suns, as the Timberwolves are also just trying to save a little bit of money as well, because he has got quite a sizable contract. And then from the Spurs, they're going to send DeAnthony Melton and 2 first-round picks to the Phoenix Suns. One of those picks is a 2026 Atlanta swap. They get the worst of the pick. They also send their unprotected first-round pick this year to the Phoenix Suns, and in turn, the Phoenix Suns are going to send New York's 2026 unprotected pick to the Spurs. So it's basically just a swap of picks. The Spurs, they're not really that worried about their pick this year. They're 19-1 at the moment. But those are the 2 trades that I have done. I probably won't do any more trades, maybe until the trade deadline. There might be 1 or 2 moves depending on how the rest of the NBA plays out. But the one last thing that I want to show off is the mock draft, because we've had a little bit of a look at the rookie prospects this year, but we haven't done a great deal of a deep dive. We'll probably do a little bit more towards the All-Star break, but I just wanted to quickly show them off now. This is the current state of things with the current prospects that we have in this year's draft class. We've already covered a few of them, and I will show you quickly the mock draft. I'm going to just ignore the teams because the teams aren't entirely accurate. For example, the Lakers here with the Nets pick. The Nets are not the 9th worst team in the NBA, as they're currently 2nd in the Eastern Conference. So that's why I'm not entirely showing you the mock draft, but we will have a look sort of at the prospects that are available in this year's draft. We've already covered Quincy Powell. He is the sort of the number 1 sort of prospect, but Andres Hernandez, per the mock draft, is currently the number 1 projected pick in the mock draft. There's also Freddie Tadlock, who is not very athletic, but very, very smart, 3-point shooter, not a bad perimeter defender. He's a 6'7" point guard. I can't remember exactly what college he's out of. He's out of Syracuse, that's right. And then we've got Prachizio Colangelo. I'm going to have a lot of trouble with that name. 6'8", 195 pounds, sort of a slender Italian fella. Again, very smart, very good perimeter and post defense. To my knowledge, not much of a stretch big, and we don't really know a great deal about him at this stage in terms of player comps, but B- 3-pointer and playmaking isn't too bad either. Joshua Banks, we've already covered. He's sort of just a big sort of defensive anchor. He's 6'10", 240 pounds, very solid. Grant White, he's 7'7", 350 pounds. He's from Villanova. He's good at inside the paint. Basically anything else, he is terrible. So very much an extreme case of player. He's the 6th projected pick, but I don't think he'll be picked 6th overall, just because there is not a lot of diversity in his game whatsoever. As you can see, there are a lot of centers at the top of the sort of draft board at this stage. Maverick Adkins out of Canada. Again, not so much a stretch big, but very good defensively. Not too bad inside the paint, sort of like your Clint Capella kind of player. I would say that's what he is. And David Muller out of Germany, very similar. But then we move on to Adonis Batista, and he's out of the Philippines. Again, post defense, perimeter defense, very strong. But he's also got a very strong basketball mind. He's 6'11", 230 pounds. Can sort of play make with the ball a little bit. He's not a bad shooter. But again, he'll probably be in sort of the 10 to 15 range of the draft, I would say. Diamond Day, 6'2", 195 pounds. Can't shoot to save his life, but what a defender he is. Even though he is undersized at 6'2", he is an amazing sort of post defender. So when I say post defender, I think he'll probably guard someone who's a good example of, like, if Anthony Edwards were to miraculously develop a post game, he'd be amazing at stopping Anthony Edwards in the post, but I don't see him stopping guys like Karl Anthony Towns down low. I don't really see that happening. Then we've got JT Charalampopoulos. I cannot believe I said that name first time. I'm very happy about myself. Catch and shoot ace, awesome 3-point shooter. It says he's a B+ perimeter defender, but I don't necessarily believe that. If that's what we think he is, I think he's going to be a very good prospect for whichever team picks him. He can sort of plug into any kind of system, and I think he's going to be just fine. Godstone is another sort of athletic three-point shooter. He's got a little bit of a mid-range, not a great defender, but sort of like that spark plug kind of player out of Georgetown. I think he's going to be potentially a future slam dunk champion in the future, but you know, not a lot is known about him at this stage. He's only 18 years of age. Lonnie Payton, another two-way sort of catch and shoot kind of player. He's a bigger body, 6'5", 240 pounds, out of the University of Houston. Really good in the mid-range, really good three-point shooter, but defense is a little lackluster and is sort of a black hole at times offensively. If you pass it to him, you're probably not going to get it back. Everett Tucker is next in line, and again, another very solid shooter out of Syracuse. So he is teammates with Freddie Tadlock. Again, perimeter defense is there, athleticism is there. He could be a sneaky to jump up into the top 10, even though he is, you know, only the 14th ranked prospect overall. And the other incredible thing about him is 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, which is really special. And then lastly, the last prospect we're going to cover today is Nathaniel Moegenberg, who is also out of Germany. Sort of really good switchy defender. He's only 6'6", 220 pounds. Doesn't have much of a wingspan, but he's a stretch four, good defender on the perimeter and inside, can rebound. He's a decent athlete. He does a bit of everything, but he's probably a little undersized to be playing the power forward, so he'll probably end up playing small forward, but he could go anywhere between 15 and 30. You know, really depends on where things go from there. But I'm gonna stop with the prospects there. We're gonna get into the gameplay now, because I've been recording for 15 minutes and we haven't done a game yet. So I will see you at tip-off. I told a little fib. I'm not going to see you at tip-off because we're still technically less than 2 weeks away from tip-off. So we're going to simulate through. Jake LaRavia for the Clippers has a little injury. He's now back. That was fine. CJ McCollum's out with a sprained right foot. It's only day-to-day, so I'm just going to fix this up quickly. One thing that I forgot to mention with the player transactions and the trades that I did is that we had to release a few sort of players to sort of make the teams make sense in terms of roster positions. I'll show you that in a minute, but we also have a couple of two-way players currently on the roster, so I'm just going to sign them for the rest of the season just so nothing changes. Denver have made a roster change. Yep, sure. So have Cleveland, Philadelphia, sweet. And we're still a little bit away. So as I said, a few transactions were made. So after the Suns, Wizards and Pistons trade, Jordan Goodwin and Colin Castleton were waived by the Suns, and then Terrence Shannon was signed to a one-year deal. The Wizards also signed Vlatko Cancar to a one-year deal as well. And then after the Suns, Timberwolves and Spurs trade, the Spurs waived Corey Joseph, so I know he featured in the last episode for about 2 seconds, so he's now out of the league at this stage. Kevin McCullough was signed to a two-way deal, and then Luke Garza, Isaiah Mobley, and Jalen Galloway were all signed to one-year deals after their two-way deals expired. Welcome to Washington, everybody. We are here in the Capital One Center, or Capital One Arena, I should say. 23-2 is the record of the Philadelphia 76ers. And Washington have improved a little bit since the Julius Randle trade. They're still in the basement of the Eastern Conference, but they're not doing too bad at 9-14. Damian Lillard, obviously big trade from Philadelphia, or from Milwaukee to Philadelphia this offseason. And Philadelphia, best team in the NBA currently, outside of probably the San Antonio Spurs. As you can see, the starting lineups are on screen. The key matchup here is Tyrese Maxey and Balil Coulibaly, who is a chance to win Most Improved Player this year. His rookie campaign averaged about 8.5 a game. This season, just under, I think it was 24 points a game. So it's going to be very interesting to see these two match up. Zach Edey has a massive size advantage on Julius Randle. And it's also going to be our first opportunity to watch Toby Trapp, the Australian, number 4 overall pick in this year's draft, sort of play. He's a 6'8", 6'9" point guard. He's a big boy, and he's got the Damian Lillard matchup, who misses his first jumper. Usman Dieng gets the rebound, kicks it to Trapp on the perimeter, trying to get inside. can't get there. Anthony Davis obviously got traded to Philadelphia as well. A lot of big names on the court right now. But the ball ends up with Koulibaly. He's at the elbow, pulls up. Can't get the jumper to go. Paul George found his way to Philadelphia in free agency. Wow, Philadelphia. There's a lot of talk about their team so far. But Julius Randle, big task guarding Zach Edey. Not that he'll get a lot of touches this season, or in this game, I should say, as Paul George finds Anthony Davis down low. Gets the easy bucket to open the scoring for today. Toby Trapp bringing the ball up, finds Miles Bridges, who, as we know, has had a troubled start to his NBA career. Launches the three, misses. I mean, he's been very good when he's on the court. It's more his off-the-court issues that tend to get in the way. But he's hoping now that he's in Washington, he's out of Charlotte, he can get off to a new sort of clean start. Anthony Davis kicks it to Damian Lillard, knocks down the three. Bilal Koulibaly trying to get into the offense at this stage. Toby Trapp sizing up Damian Lillard, getting into the paint. No, kicks out to Bridges. Misses another three, unfortunately, for the Wizards. So still struggling at this early stage of the game. Paul George finds Zach Edey in the mid-range at the elbow. Knocks down another jumper. And the Wizards are going to call timeout, having not scored in the first 2.5 minutes. And it must be said, like with this game, we're not expecting it to be a close game, as these two teams are at different points sort of their, not careers, but you know, they're trying to achieve two different things this season. Philadelphia is sort of an all or nothing approach with how their roster is constructed, as another easy find down low for Zach Edey. Gets his offensive rebound, puts it back. Whereas the Washington Wizards are sort of trying to build for the future. A lot of young pieces, whilst also trying to be competitive in the Eastern Conference, as they don't really own their draft picks. And Miles Bridges finally hits a three. Brings the margin back down to a 4-point game. Zach Edey found down low once again by Paul George. Julius Randle with the foul. Unfortunately for him, just doesn't have the size to be dealing with Zach Edey, who's 7'5". He's a big body, dominated at college level for Purdue. And the big fella knocks down both. Marvin Bagley, I almost said Marcus Bagley. Marvin Bagley is checked into the game. Toby Trapp gets inside, gets another bucket. But Marvin Bagley's actually been very good this season for the Washington Wizards. He has been starting at center prior to the Julius Randle trade. Active hands down there in the paint. Zach Edey is all by himself. Ball finds Paul George on the perimeter, guarded by Ousmane Dieng. Misses the three, and Toby Trapp, this is where he's dangerous because he's such a big point guard. He gets a lot of rebounds and can run in transition, trying to get by Damian Lillard. Finds Miles Bridges on the perimeter once again, knocks down another three. Anthony Davis, we haven't seen a great deal of him in today's game. Paul George, another three, matches the other three that was hit on the other end. Coming out of the timeout, Toby Trapp trying to get into the paint. That's where he's the strongest. He's a less than 30% shooter from three, fading away. Knocks down the turnaround jumper. And he's got 6. I think he's perfect shooting so far. He's also got a couple of assists, rebounds. He's been very good. Tyrese Maxey, who is the future of the Philadelphia 76ers, signed a big contract with them in the offseason. Big 5-year deal. Good defense by Bilal Koulibaly, but not good enough. Noah Clowney kicks the ball to Paul George. Finds Maxey in the corner. Koulibaly does a great job at the rim. Ball finds Marvin Bagley as he's running the ball up the court. Not something that's probably preferred for the Wizards, but he does have a mismatch on Tyrese Maxey. Miles Bridges gets the screen from Nick Richards. Finds him again down low. Ball finds Trapp on the perimeter. Drives right, puts up a little floater. Extends the lead to 3. You could probably say you could go Junior Justice for Rookie of the Year. You could probably go Toby Trapp as well. AJ Dunston is a possibility as well, but he's probably the third choice out of those guys. But yeah, Toby Trapp has been incredible so far for Washington. as another bucket inside the paint for the 76ers. But Trapp, out of those three rookies, definitely has the most responsibility on his shoulders. You know, the Spurs and the Thunder in much better situations in terms of the talent they have on the roster. But the Wizards are a lot younger than both of those teams. Koulibaly, contested three. Can't hit it. Ball finds Trapp, sort of elbow extended on the right-hand side. Has a big height advantage on Damian Lillard. Just holding the play. Takes the jumper. Knocks it down. Toby Trapp, a less than 30% three-point shooter on the season, knocks down the jumper in Philadelphia. Finally called timeout to stop the bleeding. Ball is inbounded to Paul George, covered by Ousmane Dieng. And it's another great defensive play by the Wizards. Nick Richards this time with the block. Finds Bagley. I think that's Nick Smith Jr., who was traded along with Miles Bridges to the Wizards in the offseason. Nick Richards forces the ball out of bounds, and the Wizards are going to get it back. He misses another three. Nick Smith Jr. running in transition. Being covered very well by Buddy Hield. Not normally someone you'd compliment on their defensive effort. Nick Smith Jr. pulls up. Misses, and now the 76ers, 10 seconds to go. Ball in the hands of Paul George. Less than 2 to go. Pull up three is no good. And the Washington Wizards go on a 24-11 run to end the quarter. And they are in very good stead. Second quarter underway. And I've decided with this series going forward, we're going to take out the stat checks at quarter time and three-quarter time just to save a bit of time on the episode. As Nick Smith Jr. hits another three. Now up to a 9-point game for the Wizards. I'll still obviously do them at halftime and full time. But just for the time being, we're just going to take them out to save a bit of time. As we did use a lot of time at the start of this episode going over the rookies and whatnot. It's Buddy Hield with a tough finish inside. And as you can see on the ticker, Wizards 10 for 16 on the field at the 76ers 8 for 19. So really struggling to shoot a good percentage. Ball finds Victor Kankar, who's a new signing for the Wizards after the Julius Randle trade. Ousmane Dieng trying to get into the paint. Fadeaway jumper. Knocks it down. And just another example of how the Wizards, even though the Sixers defense hasn't even been that bad, the Wizards just constantly finding a way to get points with the players that they have on the court. And here we go again. The Wizards turn the ball over at half court. That was a terrible pass. Paul George finds Jason Tate wide open. I sort of struggled getting his name out. Finds Dieng on the fast break, and it's now a double-digit lead for the Wizards. Ousmane Dieng trying to get inside once again. Is fouled, gets the and one. Paul George with the foul. First foul for him on the game. And the 76ers, I didn't actually know this, they're on a 10-game win streak, so you'd think they'd be at their strongest right now. But not the case. Skylar May's been covered by Nick Smith Jr. Ball finds Anthony Davis in the mid-range, takes the jumper, can't get it to go. 6.5 to go in the second quarter. The Wizards hold a 10-point lead at this stage. Nick Smith Jr. has been pretty good so far. Hit a pair of threes. Has plenty of space on the perimeter. Just holding the ball up again. And that's a great steal by Anthony Davis. So 3 scoreless possessions in a row for the Wizards after being up by 12. May have even been 14. Davis, another mid-range jumper. This time knocks it down to cut it back down to a single-digit lead. 76ers in transition. Ball finds Paul George, swung to the corner where Buddy Hield has it. Waiting for the Davis screen. Long two for Buddy Hield. And after a lucky bounce, ends up going in. But yeah, I don't think any of the Wizards starters are in right now, apart from Ousmane Dieng. Marvin Bagley getting inside. Another non-score for the Wizards. And just really stinking the joint up at the moment. Skylar Mays trying to get the ball to Davis, who is just putting a lesson on Marvin Bagley right now, but does a good job there. Ousmane Dieng driving to the basket. Finally some points. And the Sixers call timeout. Bit more of a proper lineup in for both teams now. Damian Lillard, Toby Trapp, Anthony Davis, Tyrese Maxey. I think the only non-starter in for the Sixers, or non-starting quality player for the Sixers, is Richaun Holmes, as Maxey hits a 3 there. Now a 5-point game. Miles Bridges back in the game as well. Koulibaly coming and set a screen. Another 3 for Bridges. Knocks it down in reply. Julius Randle going to have a much more comfortable time guarding Richaun Holmes down low compared to the 7'5". Oh my lord, I thought Toby Trapp was going to get dunked on. But Damian Lillard misses the dunk. Koulibaly finds Julius Randle down low. That's where he's the strongest. Double-digit lead has been restored. And Damian Lillard, after missing that dunk on the other end, is going to look to get some points on the board, and does. Little floater over Toby Trapp. And Damian Lillard has only scored a couple of points in this game so far, but always looking to put points on the board, as he did for so many years in Portland. Koulibaly dunks all over Maxey. Both free throws made for Maxey. Koulibaly still in the game. It's only his first foul. Julius Randle, defended by Davis, former teammates on the Pelicans, and obviously both former Lakers as well. Miles Bridges misses the wide open 3. Davis is wide open in the corner, but Damian Lillard did not see him. And now Miles Bridges has been charged with guarding Anthony Davis. Buddy Hield knocks down another jumper, just the 2 this time. Now a 2-possession game, 6-point lead for the Washington Wizards with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Toby Trapp posting up Lillard down low. Double comes. Ball swung out to Koulibaly. Puts the dribble on Maxey straight away. Gets inside. Little finger roll is missed. Davis gets the rebound. There's Buddy Hield in the corner. Maxey up top, guarded by Koulibaly. He opts to go for Damian Lillard instead. 3-second call on Clowney. Anthony Davis, another rebound. He has been all over the rebound so far. Maxey hasn't done as much scoring as he'd probably like in this one, but knocks down that long 2. Now a 4-point game. Julius Randle bringing the ball up for the Wizards with just over a minute to go. Miles Bridges, a 20-point-per-game scorer, as is Julius Randle, as is Koulibaly, as is Toby Trapp as well. Julius Randle getting inside, scoring. So the Wizards just looking to get a bit more experience with the Julius Randle trade. Also, some additional scoring power. Marvin Bagley, not a fantastic scorer, has to be said. And there's another steal for Toby Trapp. Damian Lillard turns the ball over. But whether or not the Wizards re-signed Julius Randle in the offseason, I still think the trade was worth it for them, because the pick that they gave up was a lottery protected pick, and Detroit are well outside the lottery at this stage in time. So I think, it was a wise deal for the Pistons. The Sixers get another, sorry, not the Sixers, the Suns get another pick, as there's another bucket inside for the Wizards. There's now only 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Tyrese Maxey pulls up. Julius Randle gets the rebound. Ball is found by Koulibaly inside. Gives it to Bridges. Back out to a double-digit lead. And with 6.5 seconds to go, Tyrese Maxey is going to get the final shot. And he is well covered by Koulibaly. Can't get it to go. But what a first half by the Wizards. After being down 7-0, they are now up by 10 on the 23-2 Philadelphia 76ers. Coming into halftime, Miles Bridges leading the way for the Washington Wizards. 13 points on 7 shots, including 3 of 6 from deep. Has 2 boards, 2 assists to his name as well. Ousmane Dieng, 5 of 8 from the field, 11 points on the ball game, 2 rebounds to go with it. Toby Trapp has been very impressive in our first opportunity to watch him. 11 points, a rebound, couple of assists. He's got a steal. He's hit a 3. He's 5 of 6 from the field. He's been exceptional. Julius Randle in his Wizards, well, not his debut because he's played a few games in the simulation. But again, the first time we've had a chance to watch him on the Wizards. He's 2 of 2 from the field. Koulibaly has been really good defensively. He's still working out a few things offensively. On the other side for the 76ers, Tyrese Maxey leading the way with 9 points, yet to contribute any other sort of meaningful contribution in terms of statistics. But it's 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from deep. He's knocked down a couple of free throws, not doing too bad. Anthony Davis has been very good so far this season, averaging just under 23 and 15. But 6, 4, and 2 with a steal, 3 of 7 from the field, not doing too bad. Zach Edey's been impressive in the 8 minutes he's played. Buddy Hield's knocked down some shots. Paul George is probably taking a few shots too many, considering he's 2 of 8 from the field, including 1 of 5 from deep. Damian Lillard's not been too bad. Goga Badatse is getting more minutes than I thought he would. But apart from that, I'd have to say that, Tyrese Maxey, Anthony Davis, Zach Edey have been the best of the bunch so far. And lastly, a team comparison before we get into the second half. 61% shooting for the Wizards in the first half compared to 44 for the 76ers. They've hit a few more threes, free throws basically the same. They've made the same amount. But it's the points in the paint, it's the fast break points, and defensive rebounds as well. The Sixers have more offensive rebounds, but they haven't been able to, make the most of it. So I've been very impressed with the Wizards so far, and to be honest, this is a bit of a shock because the 76ers, they're 23 and 2. They're on a 10-game winning streak, as we saw earlier in the video. So hopefully, for the 76ers' sake, they can, chip in and continue the streak. But also for the Wizards, they're going to probably want to be a pseudo play-in team to want to invite some newer talent potentially in the off season. So, because it's been pretty dire for the Wizards generally in their history. So, remains to be seen how the rest of the game's going to be played out. Can't wait to see how it goes. Second half now underway, and these Wizards fans would have to be pretty happy with what they've seen from their hometown team so far. The 76ers looking to come back as this game goes on, and Toby Trapp so far in this first possession just happy to dribble it out, gets to the basket but gets the points to go. So that was a bit of a strange first possession of the second half, but the Wizards now hold a 12-point lead over the 76ers, and Damian Lillard gets the screen from Zach Edey. Not really an effective screen, but does the job with the pick and roll. Zach Edey gets, I'm pretty sure he did score in the first half, but gets another bucket inside. Sort of an odd place screen. Toby Trapp going to post up Damian Lillard down low. Double comes. Ball is found to Miles Bridges on the perimeter. Puts up a 3, knocks it down. Another 3-pointer for Miles Bridges. 13-point game now for the Washington Wizards. Damian Lillard gets those 3 points right back. And Zach Edey secures the rebound. Damian Lillard has hit a few shots this game. Going to be looking to hit a few more to bring the Sixers back into it. But Tyrese Maxey, the young leader of this team, driving to the basket, finds Davis down low, cuts the margin back to an 8-point game. Paul George finds Maxey down low, gives it to Lillard. Probably should have just gone himself. Julius Randle secures the rebound. Ousmane Dieng goes down low, is fouled by Paul George. Only one free throw made for the Wizards. Now a 9-point game. Anthony Davis has the size advantage on Miles Bridges. Spins, goes with the left hand, gets the bucket to go. Now a 7-point game, 3 minutes into the third. Going to be posting up Damian Lillard down low. Double comes, goes up with the right hand, gets it to go. And Toby Trapp's been so good so far for the Wizards. They'd have to be happy with their draft pick. Damian Lillard pulls up for 3, knocks another one down. He is still showing signs of life as he gets older. He's As I said earlier, the 76ers really going all or nothing with their approach this season. Toby Trapp trying to get another floater to go, misses. But we don't know how many years Damian Lillard has left as an elite scorer. Averaging over 20 points a game so far this season. And there is another three. Brings the margin back down to 3. And the Sixers a 15-6 run in this quarter. Julius Randle gonna set the screen for Toby Trapp. Zach Edey is the only player between him and the rim. Goes up, blocks it. Maxey cleans up. Ball finds Lillard again. Zach Edey sets the screen, rolls to the basket. 1 point game. The Wizards can't panic from this situation. Miles Bridges takes the 3, knocks it down. Less than half a quarter to play in the third. Lillard getting to the rim, gets it to go despite the tight defense from Toby Trapp. He now has 16. And Trapp's been very good, we shouldn't forget as well. Randall trying to get inside, just blocked by Edey. But the ball recovered by Nick Smith Jr. Ousmane Dieng driving to the rim. Nobody there, is hacked by Noah Clowney. Dieng unfortunately 1 for 2 for the Wizards. Paul George finds Maxey all by himself in the paint. And still a 2-point game. Toby Trapp has the size advantage on Damian Lillard. Should probably be using that to his advantage. Miles Bridges pulls up, long 2, knocks it down. He's been outstanding this game for the Wizards. Actually having a very good season in general, averaging over 20 points a game on very good shooting percentages. Edey hands off to Clowney. Lillard has the ball at the foul line extended, getting to the rim. He's fouled by Toby Trapp, only his first foul. But Damian Lillard, one of the great free throw shooters, gonna go to the line. 1 for 2 for Lillard at the line. I bigged him up, can't convert as Richards is hacked. And Richards converts both at the line. It's been a very interesting quarter. Obviously the Wizards had quite the lead at halftime. But the 76ers just fighting their way back into the game. As Lillard gets another bucket inside the paint, has 19 on the game. But Trapp's gone a little bit quiet in this quarter. Finally gets a bucket to go. And he is celebrating like he means it. He also has 17 on the game. In addition to his rebounding, assists, and playmaking efforts. Lillard for 3, knocks it down. He has 17 in the quarter. Bit of traffic inside. Toby Trapp coming off a screen, gets the handoff. Driving to the rim, goes for the layup, gets it a go at the end of the shot clock. Paul George now being guarded by Bagley. Great defense by Richards on Maxey, who Maxey's been pretty quiet so far, has to be said. Nick Smith Jr. guarded by Damian Lillard. Richards, not a great offensive threat, apart from dunking, has to be said. Nick Smith Jr. pulls up for another 3, gets it to go. Lead back out to 7. And the Wizards, not that they should be getting comfortable, but they'll be more comfortable with the lead out to that distance. Buddy Hield trying to get back inside, gives it to Maxey in the corner. Zach Edey coming to set a screen on the left-hand side. Maxey gets it to go. Garuba has the ball on the baseline. Nick Smith Jr. doesn't take the 3 straight away. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Good screen by Bagley. Nick Smith Jr. sort of dribbling around in circles. Stuck in the paint. Lillard, good defense. But an even better finish by Nick Smith Jr. This is now 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. Wizards up 7. The 76ers fighting to keep the streak alive. Lillard's still out there. He's going to set a ball screen for Jayshawn Tate. Pulls up for 3. Knocks it down. And now with 7.5 to go, what is Nick Smith going to do? Finds Bagley down low. No basket. Great quarter for the Sixers, but the Wizards still ahead by 4. 1 quarter to go in this Eastern Conference matchup. I'm very excited to see how it's going to play out. Buddy Hield takes a quick three to start the quarter. Can't get it to go. Ball finds Bagley up top, kicks it back to Kankar. Nick Smith Jr. cutting to the basket, doesn't find him. Bagley for three, knocks it down. Damian Lillard gets a screen from Davis, kicks it back to him, but it's intercepted by Marvin Bagley. And Nick Smith Jr. had a player in the paint, but had the blinders on, just couldn't find him. Takes the long two instead, bounces around Davis, secures the rebound. With a minute gone in this fourth quarter, Damian Lillard has the ball in the corner. Posting up two players at once, can't get the bucket to go. And that's the first foul on Nick Smith Jr. Buddy Hield going to be bringing the ball up for the Sixers. Guarded by Beauchamp, Rashawn Holmes up top finds Damian Lillard, who has the hot hand in this game. Anthony Davis on the low block. Goes baseline, shoots over the backboard. But the backboard gets in the way. Garuba hasn't been on an NBA team for a couple of seasons, but has a home, at least for this season, with the Wizards. Beauchamp's pass is intercepted by Damian Lillard. And there's no one between him and the basket. Pulls up, banks it in. 5-point game. Damian Lillard has 21 in the second half. 26 on the game in total. Plenty of time left in the game for the Sixers to come back, but plenty of time also for the Wizards to make it a comfortable victory. Put back is good by Bagley, and the Sixers call a timeout. They've got 3 left. Lillard leading the offense, and looks like the Sixers have got a bit more of a conventional lineup in the game. Edey's back in, Davis is in, Buddy Hield's in, Lillard's in, and Jashawn Tate is also in. Damian Lillard gets another bucket. He's on to 28 for the game. 5-point lead to the Wizards with just over 6 minutes to go in the fourth. And it looks like Paul George and Tyrese Maxey looking to check back in for the Sixers as well. Beauchamp trying to bully Buddy Hield. Trying to get to the rim. Can't get it to go. Has to put up a wild shot. Misses. Davis secures the rebound. Jashawn Tate doesn't go all the way. Pulls up. Gives it to Lillard. And now Davis is going to try and put the body on Bagley. There's a foul down low. Starters for the Wizards now back in. And they're going to be wanting to get the Wizards home as Trapp finds Randall down low. And he gets another bucket over Edey. Paul George also back in the game. As I said before, Edey a little tired, but can still play a part in this game. Paul George thought about the deep three. Gives it to Maxey. He misses. Deng gets the rebound. 6 points, 5 minutes to go. Make that 8 points with 5 minutes to go with the Randall slam. Tyrese Maxey has taken a bit of a backseat to Damian Lillard in this game. Paul George has also. Edey swings the ball, finds Maxey in the corner. Screen going to be set. Maxey has a bit of space, gets inside. Ball doesn't go. Edey had a shot down low, kicks it out to Buddy Hield, and he gets the three off the putback. Randall sets a good screen. Trapp's going to get inside and gets the lucky bounce. Sort of rolled around on the rim for a little bit. Back to a 7-point game. Buddy Hield assisted by the screen from Edey, but the ball's stolen. Nobody between Randall and the basket. Gets fouled. Gets the end one to go. Maxey fouls. And Randall has been very impressive today. Going to go to the foul line and try and extend it to a double-digit lead, which he does. Davis and Lillard have also checked back in. And both team starters are now on the court. Maxey pulls up for three. Can't get it to go. Trapp secures another rebound. Thought about going coast to coast. Does go coast to coast. Is fouled by Davis. And now Trapp going to go to the foul line. On the perimeter, George going to get to the elbow. Pulls up. Makes it. Just the 7 points for him tonight. 3 of 9 shooting. But hopefully, for the Sixers' sake, he can make a bit of an impact in this fourth quarter. What's left of the fourth quarter, I should say. There's not much time left. Randall, open for three, knocks it down. Great find by Trap. And it's back out to a 12-point game. I think if you're the 76ers, you either want the ball in the hands of Davis or you want it in the hands of Lillard. They've been the two most competent players for the 76ers so far in this one. And I think if you're the Wizards, either Bridges, Randall, or Trap at this point. Lillard fouls down low. Randall's going to go back to the line. And Randall's been exceptional in this game. Obviously, he's only played a handful of games with the Wizards, but is slowly accommodating himself into this team. And the Wizards are going to be hopeful that it can be a sort of a late surge into the playoffs, because they did not have a particularly good start. I think they were 5-13. But they're up to 9 wins now. It's looking like they're going to secure number 10 with this victory should they win the game. Koulibaly with the block down low on Maxey. And with just over 2 minutes to go, it's a 14-point game. Trap gets inside, make that 16. And it's going to be pretty tough to blow it from here if you're the Wizards. Lillard gives up to Maxey on the left wing. Maxey sort of playing iso ball on Koulibaly, which is pretty tough because Koulibaly has the size. Usman Deng helps with the double. Maxey, that's a tough shot. Gets it to go. Has 17 on the game. I didn't think he had that many, but needs to come strong now if the Sixers are going to be any chance of winning this game. Bridges, long two again, knocks it down. Back out to 16. Lillard, guarded by Trap, sort of loses him for a minute, but finds the matchup again, gets the and one to go. Trap has a second foul. Lillard makes the free throw, excuse me. It'll be 13 and he does. Now Maxey is guarding Koulibaly. Koulibaly just taking a bit of time off the clock. Bridges, three. Can't hit as Maxey gets the rebound, and he's trying to go as quick as possible. Trying to get to the rim. Koulibaly does a good job of staying in front of him. Takes the three, knocks it down. 10-point game. 53.9 seconds to go. And Toby Trap going to use his full 6 seconds to get over the half-court line. Randall getting inside. Bit of contact, but no call. Makes the shot. 12-point game. The Sixers have a shot still, but they have to play perfectly from here. Maxey trying to get inside on the baseline. Great defense by Koulibaly, but Edey gets the offensive rebound. Koulibaly fouls. Zach Edey, 10 points, 6 rebounds today. I think he's 3 of 3 from the foul line if my memory serves correct. But he's got to make this one, which he does. Looks like the Wizards have taken the starters out, so it feels like they're comfortable from here. Clowney fouls Bagley. I think, dare say, it's probably over. If Bagley makes at least one of these free throws, he makes the first. Bagley also makes the second. Lillard, is he going to dribble out the last shot? No, he's going to drive to the foul line. Give it to Clowney. Buddy Hield also into the game now. Throws a couple of pumps at Matt Ryan. Clowney puts a three up. Can't get it to go. And the Washington Wizards are now 10 wins on the season and have also broken the 10-game winning streak of the Philadelphia 76ers in a huge, huge upset. And Toby Trap of the Washington Wizards is the player of the game. I thought Damian Lillard may have been a shout for his incredible second half. I know he had 5 points in the first half. I don't know how many he ended with. But Toby Trap was very, very good. Very impressive. In addition to Miles Bridges as well. But Toby Trap, 24 points, 4 boards, 5 assists. Steal and a block. Hit a 3, 11 of 15 from the field. 1 for 2 from the line. Not a lot you can do about that. But very, very impressive by the rookie. I'd say out of the three rookies that I added into the draft class, he's been the most impressive so far in terms of the gameplay. But obviously we'll see how the rest of the season plays out and whether or not we'll watch him again. Miles Bridges was very, very good. Hit 5 3-pointers, 23 points on the game, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal was very good. Julius Randle, also very impressive. 8 for 10 shooting, 1 for 2 from deep, 21 points, 3 boards, and 4 of 4 from the foul line. Ousmane Dieng, 5 of 8 from the field for Ousmane Dieng, 13 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, but was very, very good defensively and forced a lot of missed shots early. Obviously, that doesn't show in the box score, but was very impressed with his work. Nick Smith Jr. was also very good. 4 for 9 shooting, 2 of 4 from deep. And Koulibaly had a little bit of a disappointing game offensively. Only scored the 4 points, but did record 2 blocks. But Damian Lillard, 26 points for the 76ers in the second half. 5 of 6 shooting from deep. 31, 2 and 3 on the game. 11 of 16 from the field. We'll have a look at the free throws as well. 4 of 5 from the foul line. Tyrese Maxey ended up with 20 on the game. 8 for 21 shooting. You know, could be a little bit more efficient. Zach Edey was also very good. 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks on 4 of 5 shooting. Davis only scored the 10. Buddy Hield, 4 of 7 shooting, 1 of 4 from deep, only scored the 9. And Paul George was pretty disappointing. 7 points in 33 minutes, 3 of 9 shooting, 1 for 5 from deep. Last look at the team stats on this game. 107 plays 95. 58% shooting for the Wizards. 3-point shooting was very similar. They made the same amount, and the Sixers only took 1 more. But it was the free throw shooting that I think made a real difference. Obviously, that discrepancy isn't made up by the amount of free throws made, but just when you make 15 free throws to 11, the Sixers actually shot a better percentage, but it was the points in the paint, the fast break points, even the bench points was what really won this game for the Wizards, as well as the rebounds, the offensive rebounds. Although the Sixers were leading that early, it did eventually even itself out. But the biggest lead of the game was 16. That was early in the third quarter. Eventually got down to 5 or 4 points, but eventually ended up being a 12-point win for the Wizards. The Wizards give the 76ers their first loss in 10 games. And funnily enough, the last team to beat the 76ers was the Wizards back on November 17th by 2 points in the NBA Cup. So that was quite funny. I didn't actually know that. But now we're going to skip forward to the 19th of December, so where we can watch the Boston Celtics play the Atlanta Hawks. Celtics currently have a 17-8 record, and we'll actually have a look at what the Hawks are doing. They're 5-17, obviously at 2 very different ends of the NBA standings right now. But it's an NBA Cup game. You never know what can happen. It's in Atlanta. We're also going to get our first look at Stephon Castle and Reed Sheppard, 2 additional draft picks from this year's draft. Reed Sheppard was taken 3rd overall. It actually might have been 5th overall if I remember correctly. It was 6th overall for Reed Sheppard, and Stephon Castle was 7th. So back-to-back picks for the Hawks, and they took 2 backcourt players for the future. But I'm very excited to getting into this game coming up next. It is now time for some NBA Cup action here in Atlanta. The Boston Celtics, who are 17-8, going to take on the 5-17 Atlanta Hawks. Not doing too well at the moment, the Hawks, but they are a young, up-and-coming team. Jaylen Brown doing very nicely for the Boston Celtics so far, coming off his finals MVP season, averaging over 25 a game in the last 10 games. And I think the Boston Celtics probably going to be favorites to win this one, but Atlanta do have Jalen Johnson, who's averaging 26 and 12, just under 4 assists a game as well. But they've also got Reed Sheppard and Stephon Castle, who they drafted last year. And Joe Mazzulla, championship coach after taking over from Ime Udoka at the start of the 2022 season. Obviously, that was a big change for the Celtics as Porzingis wins the tip. Jason Tatum having a little bit of an up and down season so far, averaging just a touch under 24 a game, which by his standards is a little bit low. Finds Porzingis on the perimeter, and the first 3 of the ball game is hit by Porzingis. And because we have NBA Cup action, we have a nice colourful floor, and we've got nice colourful jerseys. Reed Sheppard averaging 15 and 10, finds a Kongwu down low on the pick and roll, gets the first bucket of the game for the Hawks. Jaylen Brown does the unnecessary spin move at half court. Drew Holiday and Caruso, the backcourt defenders for the Celtics, as Jaylen Brown gets his first bucket of the game as well. Doing a lot better at home than he is on the road per the ticker, averaging just under 24 points per game on the road. Saddiq Bey signed a big contract extension, 5-year deal with the Hawks in free agency, hoping to prove them right for honoring his, I don't know what I'm trying to say, I'm just making stuff up. Jalen Johnson at the end of the shot clock gets the bucket to go. Honoring the faith in him is what I'm trying to say about Saddiq Bey. Jason Tatum on Jalen Johnson is going to be a very interesting matchup at the power forward spot as Derek White misses the jumper. Jalen Johnson gets the rebound, can't get the layup on the other end after he went all the way in transition. Jaylen Brown he doesn't find Derek White on the back cut. Saddiq Bey with the active hands. Reed Shepherd, bring the ball back out, son. You don't want to take on Jason Tatum inside the paint. Saddiq Bey coming off the dribble, takes the three, knocks it down. Atlanta has an early lead. Saddiq Bey drives by Jaylen Brown. Okongwu gets the offensive rebound. Really good work by the USC college graduate. Not graduate, but alumni is what I'm trying to say. Jalen Johnson gets in the paint. Can't get the bucket to go. Tatum secures the rebound. And now he's running in transition. Guarded by Reed Shepherd. Ball finds Jaylen Brown on the baseline, and he gets the jumper to go. Again, matched up on Jalen Johnson. Gets into the paint. Puts up a little right floater. Johnson secures the rebound. Gives it up to Castle. Kicks it back out to Saddiq Bey, who has knocked down a couple of jumpers so far. Pulls another one. Can't get it to go. Another strong rebound by Jason Tatum. Just over halfway through the first quarter. Derek White goes up with the left hand. Fouled by Stephon Castle. We're finally going to get some free throws in the game. Sideline ball after the timeout. Derek White knocked down both his free throws. And Fred VanVleet, who was a part of the Trae Young trade with the Houston Rockets, is into the game. Ball is stolen by Porzingis. And it ends up with Jaylen Brown just outside the three-point line. Jason Tatum gets inside. Okongwu fouls. And he makes the shot. Now going to the foul line. Tatum knocks down the free throw. And all of a sudden, after a big lead early for Atlanta, we have a tied game. Tatum secures another rebound. He has been active on the boards today. And he has got a big size advantage on the two guards inside the paint. Drew Holiday misses the three. Game still tied at 14. Fred VanVleet gives the ball up to Reed Shepherd. And Mitch Robinson also into the game for the first time. Sets the screen for Reed Shepherd. Gets into the paint. Very easy offense for the Hawks. And they get the lead back. Just the 5 on the shot clock now for Jason Tatum to get a bucket. Pulls up at the elbow. Knocks it down. Tie game again between the Celtics and the Hawks. Fred VanVleet. Again, championship experience. A lot of it on the court right now. Obviously, Celtics champions last year. But Fred VanVleet, an NBA champion with the 2019 Raptors. Porzingis fouls Jalen Johnson pretty hard. And Johnson's going to go to the foul line now. Just over 2 minutes to go here in Atlanta. 1 point lead to the Hawks. Jaylen Brown has Reed Shepherd ahead of him. Stops him at the elbow. Double comes. Denny Avdia is at the top of the key not by himself. Puts up the long two. Can't get it to go. And Bruce Brown gets the rebound. Another bit of championship experience from the Denver Nuggets. And as I was saying about Fred VanVleet, championship experience with the Toronto Raptors. Takes the three, can't hit it. But between him, Bruce Brown joining the roster, Atlanta are adding something that they've not had for a long time, and that is sort of adults and guys who know how to win. Between the Trae Young and the Dejounte Murray years, they sort of struggled in mediocrity for a little while, but now they're sort of rebuilding and bringing some adults into the room that can teach the young guys how to play. Sideline ball is intercepted by Jason Tatum. Sam Hauser turns the ball over to his white brethren in Kevin Huerter. Tries to intercept again. Fred VanVleet for three. Knocks it down. Really a backwards and forwards game so far in this one. A lot of lead changes. It was Atlanta that was up early, then Boston. And again, Atlanta. Jason Tatum drives baseline. Can't get the shot to go. Mitch Robinson secures the rebound. Fred VanVleet bringing it up. Takes on Peyton Pritchard and gets the 2 points. He's now got a couple of buckets on the game as the Atlanta Hawks leading the NBA champs by 4. Mitch Robinson gives the ball up to Najee Marshall. Sadiq Bey, another 3, knocks it down. Back out to a 7-point game. Sadiq Bey, 3 of 5 from deep so far. And there's 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Peyton Pritchard is open, but Jason Tatum elects to ignore him. Jason Tatum faked the long 2, now has a defender in his face. Can't get the shot to go. And what a surprise this has been. The Atlanta Hawks, the 5-17 Atlanta Hawks, leading the Boston Celtics at quarter time. Fred VanVleet starting the quarter for the Hawks. Sadiq Bey gets inside the paint. And an early foul on Sam Hauser, only 8 seconds into the quarter. And Sadiq Bey, who's scored exclusively at the 3-point line so far, now has 10 points on the game. Nice and early. Knocks down the second free throw as well. So the Hawks, 9-point leaders so far. Jason Tatum yet to sit down in this game. Doing very well. Finds Peyton Pritchard on the back cut. Another assist to Tatum. And that's something that's kind of underrated with Tatum, I think. As good as his scoring is, and his ability as a defender is, his ability as a playmaker. Something that's sort of underrated just because of how dominant the Celtics have been the last couple of seasons. Sadiq Bey driving to the rim. Another layup. Doing very nicely. 13 points. But Jason Tatum, certainly, I don't think he'll ever be an MVP or anything like that, but definitely has the potential to be, the best player on a championship team. I mean, it could be argued that he was the best player on the Celtics championship team during the regular season, not so much in the playoffs or the NBA finals, but he was very good during those 2024 NBA finals. And Sadiq Bey trying to just body Sam Hauser, and Sam Hauser wins. Who would have thought that would happen? Fred VanVleet trying to get by Peyton Pritchard, does. And it's another 2 points to Fred VanVleet. After the Sadiq Bey 3-pointer, Atlanta 8-point leaders at this stage. Oh, there's another intercept. Great defense by Najee Marshall. And Jason Tatum's going to do the job. Najee Marshall doesn't want to take the free throw line jumper. Hands off to Fred VanVleet. Sadiq Bey sort of lurking around the 3-point line. Mitch Robinson takes the long 2. He does not have that kind of range. Porzingis inbounding the ball for the Celtics. Kicks it out to Tatum. Drives into the paint. Easy layup. And the Hawks call timeout in response to that easy score. And the forgotten rookie for the Atlanta Hawks, Cody Williams, has checked in for the Hawks. The brother of J-Dub. Jalen Johnson sets the screen. Fred VanVleet doesn't really use it. Oh no, it's going to go out of bounds. Shot clock violation, Celtics ball, and they have a full shot clock on their baseline. 5 on the shot clock for the Celtics. Drew Holiday's just going to have to chuck something up. Puts up the 3, can't get it to go. Cody Williams secures the rebound. Dishes it up to Bruce Brown. Takes the 3 in transition, can't get it to go. Probably could have got a better shot than that. Drew Holiday now has Fred VanVleet on him. And again, steps out of bounds. There's a lot of players doing that in this series. I don't know why, but it's just a thing that's happening. Screen for Jaylen Brown. Pulls up at the elbow. And another missed jumper for the Celtics. Stephon Castle Going to try and get inside the paint. Throws the lob. And Okongwu finishes inside. Great dish by Stephon Castle. Johnson has the ball on the perimeter. Screen set by Okongwu. And that's a great pick. A great dish. Again, the 12-point lead is restored. Jalen Johnson all over this game so far for the Atlanta Hawks. And the Celtics just really struggling offensively. Can't get into any kind of rhythm. The jump shots just aren't falling. But they're sort of getting into the paint where need be. But they're not, as I said, just can't hit their jump shots. Derek White trying to get inside. That's a blocking foul for Stephon Castle. Sideline ball for the Celtics with 2 left in the quarter. Denny Avdia kicks to Drew Holiday in the corner. And that jump shot finally goes for the Celtics. Back down to a 9-point game. Good defense by the Celtics. Jaylen Brown. Hasn't been too bad so far. Avdia went to collect the ball, but never got it. Got it eventually. Sets the screen for Jaylen Brown. 5 on the shot clock. Takes the 3. Makes the 3. And Jaylen Brown just muscles up a shot. Sort of rushes it a little bit. That's good team defense by the Atlanta Hawks. Less than a minute in the quarter and the half to go. Fred VanVleet turns the ball over. A little bit sloppy on that occasion. Denny Avdia had a ton of space. And just ran straight into Fred VanVleet. Derek White, wide open for 3. Knocks it down. 1 possession game. The Celtics on an 11-2 run. In just over the last couple of minutes. But we did see a very similar thing towards the end of the last game. And it worked out okay for the team that was winning. Saddiq Bey launches another 3. Can't get that one to go. Porzingis secures another rebound. Only a couple of possessions left in the first half. Who's going to make the most of it? As the Celtics could potentially walk away with the lead at halftime, even though they have been behind for the majority of the game. Drew Holiday just trying to bully Fred VanVleet. I don't know who Frank is. Saddiq Bey, 3 seconds. Pulls up at the elbow, can't get it to go. And that is halftime. Atlanta 45 plays Boston 42. What a first half for the Atlanta Hawks. Saddiq Bey leading the way. 16 points on 11 shots, 4 of 7 from deep. He has been exceptional. Also, really securing the rebounds, getting a few assists, and doing very, very well defensively as well. Jalen Johnson has done a pretty good job locking up Jason Tatum. Has managed to score some points for himself as well. 10 and 6 on the game. Only 3 of 7 shooting, but getting to the foul line and is hitting his free throws, which is most important. Fred VanVleet, providing a bit of experience, has the 7 points in 13 minutes. Okongwu has also been very good. Reed Shepherd has run a few good pick and rolls, but has been mostly pretty quiet so far. Stephon Castle hasn't done too badly either, has 3 assists to his name. And Mitch Robinson hit a nice mid-range jumper, which was quite unexpected. But in terms of the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown is leading the way. He has 11 points. But Jason Tatum, although he has missed the majority of his shots, is only shooting 4 for 10. He's playing a very well-rounded game. Has 9 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, has a steal. Is actually not doing too bad. Derek White is 2 of 3. He's made some free throws. He's hit a 3-pointer. Not doing too bad. Peyton Pritchard's also doing very well. Filipowski's hit a couple of shots. Not doing too bad for the rookie. Porzingis has only hit the 1 shot so far. Drew Holiday hasn't been the best efficiency-wise, but has been very good defensively on-ball-wise. And Denny Avdia hasn't scored, but has 4 assists and a steal to his name. So nothing to absolutely sneeze at. And I think what the critical thing for just the general tone of the game is they've made the exact same amount of field goals. They've made the exact same amount of 3-pointers. It's just that the Hawks are turning the ball over less, and they've made more free throws. That's basically it. Other than that, the game is pretty even so far. Nobody is really, taking over at any point. It's sort of just been a game of runs where the Hawks will get out to a double-digit lead. They were out to a lead of 12 at one point. The Celtics only had a lead of 3, but held it for a little while. But I'd say it's largely been Atlanta Hawks so far. Even though they were out to a lead of 12, they only lead by 3 now, and that just shows the quality of the Boston Celtics, even though they're not playing their best. I wouldn't be surprised if they came back and won this game by plenty. But we've still got a whole half of basketball to play. Let's see how it goes. Time to get the second half underway in this NBA Cup fixture. Jalen Johnson, after a strong second half, is going to want to continue his good work. Reed Sheppard trying to get inside, gets blocked. Okongwu gets the offensive rebound. Jalen Johnson has continued his good work with that three-pointer. Doubles the lead to get it out to 6. Waits for the Porzingis screen. Kicks it back to Porzingis, who pops just above the corner. Jaylen Brown gets the screen from Porzingis. Nobody follows him. And Okongwu fouls. Just his second foul of the game, so nothing to worry about just yet. But Jaylen Brown going to the foul line. Both free throws made for Jaylen Brown and the Celtics. 44 plays 48. Reed Sheppard now has Stephon Castle pop up to the top of the key. Okongwu sets the screen. That is a great find by Stephon Castle. And another assist for the rookie out of UConn. And Okongwu doing very nicely. And now on the other end, Jason Tatum being guarded by Jalen Johnson once again. Porzingis doesn't set the screen. Jaylen Brown does. Somehow the ball finds him, and the and one is made by Jaylen Brown. Good find to Tatum. And Stephon Castle gets his third foul. Free throw missed, unfortunately, for Jaylen Brown. Couldn't entirely complete the three-point play. Sadiq Bey gets inside on the other end. Gets the bucket inside the paint. He now leads the game with 18 points. Ball finds Porzingis just above the low block. Derek White, long two, knocks it down. Porzingis gets the assist. Derek White starting to knock down a few jumpers in this game. His defense has been pretty good, but they need a little bit more from him offensively if the Celtics are going to get back into this game. Jalen Johnson guarded by Tatum. Okongwu again sets the screen. Doesn't get past two. That's good defense by Porzingis and Tatum. Porzingis running the break. Nobody in front of him. Okongwu fouls. Now it's the third foul on Okongwu. Now it's time to get a little bit concerned if you're a Hawks fan. And before Porzingis shoots the free throws, the Celtics have called timeout. Was trying to find Jalen Johnson. Probably should have just gone himself. Ball is intercepted by Tatum. Kicks it to the corner. Drew Holiday thought about going up against Mitch Robinson, decided against it. And there's a turnover on the other end. Bruce Brown gets inside, converts the layup. Hawks back up by 5. Jason Tatum trying to get inside the paint. Gets the and one. Mitch Robinson with his first foul of the game. The good thing for the Atlanta Hawks is if Mitch Robinson also gets into foul trouble, they do have Yusuf Nurkic as a third option at center. This time, the Celtics make the free throw. 2-point game. Reed Sheppard hasn't done a lot this game. He's gotten a couple of nice assists, but hasn't done much to score. Sadiq Bey gets inside, secures the offensive rebound. There was 3 Celtics around him, but he still managed to collect the rebound. Reed Sheppard, guarded by Derek White, trying to get inside, but can't. He's going to have to just tough up. A tough shot. Makes the 3. Throw up a tough shot and make it. Derek White with the foul. And Reed Sheppard is hoping to convert the and one, which he can't, unfortunately. So a lot of free throws being missed here in this quarter. Derek White on the other end just bricks a 3. Jalen Johnson sets the screen. Has the lane to the basket. Can't quite get there. Gets the offensive rebound. Goes up with it again and makes it. Now a 7-point game. Ball is swung around to Reed Sheppard. Screen set by Jalen Johnson. And another turnover by Reed Sheppard. He has not had a good half of basketball. And Jaylen Brown's going to get inside, put up the little floater, and make it. And now the Celtics. An opportunity to close the gap a little bit further. Pull-up jumper missed by Drew Holiday. Reed Sheppard collects the ball from Mitch Robinson. Drew Holiday not having a good game offensively. Najee Marshall gets a really slick pass from Reed Sheppard, but just doesn't put a shot up. Still 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. Reed Sheppard pulls up in the mid-range. Ball bounces around a little bit, but eventually goes down. Ball swung out to Sadiq Bey. Puts up another three. Can't get that one to go. He's made quite a few. But that would have been really clutch. Jason Tatum gets inside the paint once again. Another missed bucket inside the paint. 5 of 15 on the game. Najee Marshall kicks the ball to Mitch Robinson. Now Jason Tatum gets the ball on the break. Dumb foul by Bruce Brown. And Tatum makes the layup with the foul. Peyton Pritchard's checking back into the game. Can Tatum convert this and one? Yes, he can. 4-point game. Reed Sheppard driving to the basket. Kicks out to Bruce Brown. Misses the three. Mitch Robinson, offensive rebound. Fred VanVleet misses the second chance bucket. Jaylen Brown finds Denny Avdia down low. He hasn't done a lot of scoring either. But Najee Marshall, the 6th team foul this quarter, gets the bucket to go. And if he makes the free throw, he would cut it down to a 1-point game. Which it is now a 1-point game. Peyton Pritchard covered by Fred VanVleet. We got less than 2 to go. Jaylen Brown has all the space in the world. Vukovic kind of gets in his way. Puts up the little lefty, makes it. And the Celtics, for the first time in a little while, have the lead. Gets the screen from Mitch Robinson. That is a beautiful pass. Mitch Robinson gets the easy slam of the pick and roll. And Reed Sheppard gets another assist. The Atlanta Hawks are going to be looking forward to seeing more of that in the future. He's trying to be stopped by Denny Avdia. Ball is found by Najee Marshall at the elbow. Well guarded by Denny Avdia. Puts up the lefty, makes it. Now a 3-point game with less than a minute to go. And this has been a real back and forth contest. I've been very impressed from what I've seen from both teams really since the halftime break. Jaylen Brown going to get another screen from Vukovic. Pops the three. Makes the three. Tie game. Fred VanVleet isolating on the right-hand side of the floor. Goes up with the left hand. Gets the bucket to go. Brings the lead back for the Atlanta Hawks. Just over 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. There's still a lot of basketball to play, but also feels like there's not a lot of time. Jaylen Brown, another three goes down. Celtics have the lead once again. Just over 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. Back-to-back threes by Jaylen Brown. Reed Sheppard is going to lead the last possession for the Hawks. Ball finds Najee Marshall. Can't get the bucket to go, and the Celtics are going to go into three-quarter time with the lead. 68 plays 67. 10 minutes away from the end of this NBA Cup fixture. Or at least we assume, because there may be overtime depending on. But Jason Tatum throws the lob. Not a turnover, because Peyton Pritchard recovers. Denny Avdia in the corner, covered by Cody Williams. Drives left, steps back. Recovers the ball, goes back to the corner. Fading three, knocks it down. Just a two, actually, just a two. Foot on the line. 3-point lead to the Celtics. Fred VanVleet going to bring the ball up. As it looks like they have their bench unit in to start the quarter. Yusuf Nurkic into the game for the first time today. Sets a screen for Fred VanVleet. Takes the three, makes the three. Game tied again. 70 apiece. Denny Avdia driving by Cody Williams. Ball is recovered by Filipowski. And gets the little drop-in shot to go. And he's been sneaky good coming off the bench. Very efficient. He's made a handful of buckets on not many shots. Bruce Brown sets the screen for VanVleet. Trying to get inside the paint to outbody Peyton Pritchard and can't quite get the shot to go. Filipowski gives it up to Tatum. Gets inside and makes the layup. Celtics up by 4. Cody Williams has the ball on the perimeter. Guarded by Denny Avdia. A tough assignment. Fred VanVleet gets inside the paint once again. Is fouled by Peyton Pritchard. And these free throws could potentially tie the game. Makes the second. Only the one free throw made. Jason Tatum bringing the ball up. Guarded by Najee Marshall. gets to the rim far too easily. I'm surprised that wasn't a foul, but Jason Tatum having a real stinker of a time around the rim at the moment. Mitch Robinson puts up the lefty over Filipowski, gets it to go, and the lead is back in the hands of the underdog Atlanta Hawks, who, let's not forget, haven't won an NBA Cup game so far this year. Jason Tatum kicks the ball out to Drew Holiday on the perimeter, guarded by Kevin Huerter. Drew Holiday thought about popping the three, might have to now. Makes it! Najee Marshall has actually had quite a significant role in this sort of second half. He didn't have much of it in the first half, but has done quite a bit in this second half. Not so much stats-wise, but he's hit a few shots here and there. Mitch Robinson secures the offensive rebound. Fred VanVleet can't get the three to go. He's hit a few shots as well this game. Filipowski trying to get inside, gives it up to Tatum. He is covered by all kinds of people. Mitch Robinson doing a good job of keeping Jason Tatum out of the paint. Does well not to foul either and forces the miss. That is great interior defense by Mitch Robinson. That is his bread and butter. Cody Williams kicks back out to Fred VanVleet. Mitch Robinson sets the screen. I'm sensing a lob. No lob. Mitch Robinson all by himself. Goes up with it. Is fouled by Filipowski. Not a bad foul, to be honest, because Mitch Robinson, not the best free throw shooter in the world. And we're getting towards the pointy end of this quarter of the game, really. But the first free throw has been made. Lucky bounce on the second as well. Mitch Robinson does well to make both. Jaylen Brown back into the game now. Jason Tatum on the wing against Jalen Johnson. Pulls up. Another missed jumper for Jason Tatum. He has had an absolute stinker shooting the ball. But Drew Holiday steals the ball, gets the dunk up the other end. Doing very nicely in this game. Driving on Derek White, but can't get by. Jalen Johnson had a big first half, but it's another turnover. And this is just crucial mistakes. And Stephon Castle with a necessary foul, forcing Jason Tatum to miss the shot. Jason Tatum is really off his game right now. He misses both free throws. Stephon Castle trying to get inside the paint. Has two defenders on him. Okongwu is all by himself. Dunks the ball. Great find by Stephon Castle. And Okongwu now has 10. And it's been a very good game for both teams so far. Very competitive. Jaylen Brown misses the jump shot. He's been very good from three so far today. Jalen Johnson guarded by Jaylen Brown. Reed Sheppard. Screen set. Has a layup. Jason Tatum tries to chase down the block. But we now have a tied game. 81 apiece. Ball finds Porzingis in the high post. Hand off to Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum gets inside the paint. Blocked by Okongwu. Reed Sheppard now. Going to try and get inside the paint. Does. Gets his own rebound. Got to put a shot up or get out of the paint. Is fouled. Gets the and one. Drew Holiday gets his first foul of the game. And now Reed Sheppard, who's a very good free throw shooter, has a chance to get a 3-point lead for the Hawks. And he is nothing but net. Okongwu gets another rebound. Advances it to Stephon Castle. Gives it to Reed Sheppard, who is stopped very nicely by Drew Holiday. Gives it up to Castle again. Screen coming by Jalen Johnson. Stephon Castle gets inside the paint. Is fouled by Tatum. It's another and one. Only Tatum's first foul, but it's now a 5-point game with 2.5 to go. And Stephon Castle misses the free throw crucially. Gives the Celtics a bit of room. Drew Holiday gets the N1 on the other end. Reed Sheppard's not happy, but the foul will stand. So what could have been a 6-point lead is now only a 2-point lead, thanks to a missed free throw. And timeout has been called by the Hawks. They have one timeout left. Sadiq Bey inbounds the ball to Jalen Johnson. Sadiq Bey has been a little quiet as of late. Sat on the bench for a little bit to gain a bit of rest. Covered by Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown. Not very long on the shot clock. just outside the elbow, misses the jumper. Drew Holiday secures the rebound, kicks it up to Jaylen Brown. Derek White somehow ends up with the ball, and Stephon Castle's fouled out. He's out of here. Derek White makes the first free throw, has a chance to tie, and does with exactly 2 minutes to go. Jalen Johnson now, guarded by Jason Tatum, finds Reed Sheppard on the perimeter. Saddiq Bey sort of dribbles into the corner. Fred VanVleet is by himself, steps inside the three-point line, gets inside, can't make the shot, but Jaylen Brown fouls, and Fred VanVleet is going to shoot some free throws. 15 points on the game so far. Make that 16. Can't get 17 to go. Just a 1-point lead for Atlanta so far. With 90 seconds to go, Jason Tatum trying his best to get inside. He's been a little inefficient all game, but steps up when it counts, makes the and one. Jalen Johnson fouls. And if he makes his free throw, it'll get a 2-point lead for Boston. And he makes it after missing his last two. Now is the time for the Hawks to step up to try and win their first NBA Cup game of the season. Tatum playing very tough defense on Jalen Johnson. Reed Sheppard has 5 on the shot clock. Not many options. Long two, misses as Porzingis gets the rebound. And Jason Tatum has the ball in his hands. What a find! Down low to Jaylen Brown. And the Celtics a 10-1 run in the last 90 seconds. Fred VanVleet, the ball is in his hands. Jalen Johnson turns the ball over, and the Hawks are showing how they're a young team. Jason Tatum misses the shot, gives the Hawks a life. But turning the ball over late in games is the difference between a championship team and a young rebuilding team. 30 seconds to go. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Reed Sheppard for 3, knocks it down. They're not going to foul at this stage. Nobody's picked up Jason Tatum. He pulls up for 3, knocks it down. Puts a knife into the heart of the Hawks. 20 seconds to go, and the Hawks have called timeout. Inbounds play. Ball finds Reed Sheppard. Fred VanVleet wide open, knocks down the 3. That is exactly what the Hawks needed. Now the Hawks have to be perfect from here, and they foul. Reed Sheppard has plenty of fouls. That's only his second. And now Derek White is going to take some free throws. Makes the first and makes the second. The Hawks don't have a timeout, so they can't advance the ball. They're down 3. So they go for the quick 2, or they take the 3 to go into overtime. Fred VanVleet misses the quick 3. Saddiq Bey gets his first foul. And Jaylen Brown is going to go to the foul line to put the game out of reach for the Hawks. Makes the first, which makes it very tricky from here because the Hawks have to go the full length of the court. And he misses the second. Saddiq Bey gives it to Fred VanVleet, takes the 3, misses it. The Celtics hang on after an absolute back and forth game between both teams. 97-93. The Hawks did so well, but the NBA champions hang on in the NBA Cup. Jaylen Brown is the 2K player of the game. That is not too surprising. He was the best player for the Celtics, was really, really good. Shot a ton of threes, got to the foul line. I think and those 2 threes he hit towards the back end of the third quarter really set the game, or the clutch part of the game up for the Boston Celtics. But what a game. We're going to start with the Atlanta Hawks here. 19 points for Fred VanVleet off the bench in 24 minutes. 2 boards, 3 assists, a couple of turnovers, 3 of 8 from 3. Saddiq Bey largely did his damage in the first half. Actually ended up shooting 6 for 15. Ended up with 4 of 8 from deep. Reed Sheppard had the 15 points in the end. Just the 4 assists. Was perfect from deep with his 2 threes. Jalen Johnson had 10 points and 6 boards at halftime, only scored another 3, and Okongwu also scored 10 points in this game. Stephon Castle only played the 12 minutes before fouling out, but did manage to get 6 assists and hit both of his shots. But on the other end, it was the Jays that stood out for the Celtics, as is typical. Jaylen Brown, 28, 6 and 3, did get a steal, 3 of 6 from deep, 11 for 18 shooting, was very good from the foul line, 3 of 5 on the game. Jason Tatum, I didn't realize this, but he actually had 6 steals, ended up with 25, 9 and 6 with the 6 steals, 10 for 25 shooting, 1 for 2 from deep, 4 of 6 from the foul line. Derek White was very good in his role, as was Drew Holiday, Filipowski, Avdia, Pritchard. Porzingis was quiet, but all of the big name Celtics did very well in this contest. But as we look at the final team stats here, Boston Celtics win 97-93. Hawks shot 10 of 23 from the three-point line. The Celtics actually weren't that far behind, only shot 9 for 20 from 3, but it was at the free throw line, as we said, at halftime, where the difference was made, and in the turnovers. The Boston Celtics, 12 steals to the Hawks 7, and they scored 15 points off of turnovers, where they forced the Hawks to commit 14 to 8 turnovers. The Hawks unfortunately blow a 12-point lead against the NBA champions to lose this one, but it is certainly a lesson that will be learned. Unfortunately, a painful end for the Atlanta Hawks to end this video. I really feel like they deserve to win, even though I am impartial. But I think where we go from here, I think we go Christmas Day. I think that's where we go. We'll simulate forward to the 24th of December. DeJounte Murray is now out with the San Diego Wildcats for 1 to 2 weeks. That is a minor injury. I dare say he will be out for Christmas. And as we get to the 24th of December, these are the current standings in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia 76ers lead the way with a 26-4 record. The Detroit Pistons not far behind with a 25-4 record, having played 1 game less. But both them and the Indiana Pacers are on an 11-game win streak. Brooklyn in the 4 seed, Cleveland, Boston, Orlando, all sort of in that 5 to 7 range with very good records. But looking at some of the other teams, Toronto, New York, Memphis, New Orleans, there's a lot of action sort of between 8 and 13 at this stage of the season. Charlotte are quite a few games behind Washington, who since the Julius Randle trade have won 7 consecutive games, so are doing very, very nicely. But I think the Memphis Grizzlies were probably expecting they'd be a little bit better than they are, and the New Orleans Pelicans were hoping they'd be a little bit better than they are with the moves that they've made. Brandon Ingram's a free agent at season's end, so depending or not, if New Orleans look like they're going to miss the playoffs or entirely miss the play-in, that might be a trade that happens in and around the trade deadline. Washington, I don't think they'll get up to too much, and I don't think Miami will get up to too much either, considering they're both pretty young teams sort of in the rebuilding phase. Memphis could potentially make a few moves as well. New York went all out to trade for Kevin Durant, and, they're still a couple of games behind Toronto, and depending on how that plays out, that could be a very interesting thing, because they, wanted to be more than just a play-in team. But the Eastern Conference is looking pretty stacked. But if we head over to the West, things are not as competitive as Minnesota, who are with a 16-15 record in the 7 seed. They'd probably be in and around the 12 to 13 seed in the Eastern Conference. But San Antonio, best record in the NBA, 25-2. Houston, Dallas, not far behind. Golden State's up there. OKC, Sacramento, doing very well. De'Aaron Fox has also got a couple of years left on his deal. So depending on how that plays out, that could be something that the Sacramento Kings want to consider. But Minnesota traded away Karl-Anthony Towns, arguably a little bit worse, but do have more draft picks. So they could be in a position to do something at the trade deadline should they wish. Denver's not doing too bad. Portland, for a young team to be in the 9 seed, isn't too bad. San Diego, as one of the expansion teams, I wasn't expecting them to be so high up in the Western Conference. Utah's rebuilding. Phoenix is rebuilding. They're doing very, very well considering they traded away two of their most senior players this episode. LA, we all know what they're doing, which is absolutely nothing. The Venom are really dropping off. They've lost their last 7. Seattle, they've got their pick this year, but they traded all their picks to get Lauri Markkanen, so that could be really sad. And then the Clippers, Vancouver Kodiaks, and Austin Bullets not doing great in the bottom of the Western Conference. So now that we've simulated forward a little bit further into the season, you can now see that the teams predicted to have lottery picks have now updated. So as the Austin Bullets have the worst record in the NBA, they are currently predicted to have the number 1 pick. Obviously, there's still the draft lottery tournament that we still have to worry about. So the Bullets, even though they have the worst record, they'll get a bye in the first round of the tournament, but they won't necessarily end up with the number 1 pick. They just have the best seeded option to get the number 1 pick. But the Nets are in a really good position. They have the Suns pick this year. So hypothetically, if LeBron retires, they could draft someone with a bit of talent, use that in a trade later down the line. The Spurs have the Hawks pick, so that's why they were so comfortable trading away their own pick this year. The Clippers giving their pick to the Thunder. That Paul George trade is just a gift that keeps on giving. The Lakers have their own pick. The Venom have their own pick. The Thunder also have a Jazz pick, but I believe that's top 10 protected. Cincinnati Lions have their pick. San Diego Wildcats have given their pick to the Hawks, but I believe that's lottery protected. And then the Heat have the Bucks pick. The Hornets, that Hornets pick that's going to the Trailblazers is lottery protected. And that Bulls pick that belongs to the Trailblazers is also lottery protected. But we'll have a little bit of a further look down the prospects list. Probably not next episode, but maybe the episode following that. But I think that is going to do it today. I'm not going to commit to which games I'm going to play on Christmas Day just yet, because I have no idea what the fixtures look like. So that will be probably a sort of recording time decision. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until then, I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.